in 1995. Sid Smith, retired director of the Florida Baptist Convention's African American Ministries Division, and said Parks was a giant for civil rights who appeared on the scene at exactly the right time. Her courageous defiance of Jim Crow tradition on a segregated Montgomery, Alabama bus in 1955 sparked the most successful movement for human rights in American history and launched the unparalleled career of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Smith recounted. History rewarded her with the title Mother of the Civil Rights Movement. Jay Wolf, pastor, First Baptist Church in Montgomery, who has been involved in interracial pastors for 7 years, said, quote, Parks was motivated by faith in Yeshua HaMashiach. She destroyed barriers and built bridges of reconciliation. Her Christian model is worthy of our emulation. Rick Lance, State Missionary Executive Director, Alabama Baptist State Mission Board, said Parks, quote, is a towering figure during the civil rights period of American history. She represents the sacrifice of seemingly ordinary people who did extraordinary deeds in the name of justice and liberty. Her simple act of courage became the spark which lit the fire of the civil rights movement. Behind the iconic leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr. stands the enormous contribution and influence of Rosa Parks. She never sought fame or recognition. Nonetheless, her name is synonymous with all which is good in the quest for freedom and individual rights. Bob Terry, editor of the Alabama Baptist Journal, said, quote, in the providence of Yahweh, he used an unassuming woman named Rosa Parks as a catalyst to force Alabamians and all the people of the South to face the negative side of our culture. It was her courage that caused the whole nation to re-examine and renew its commitment to the belief that all people are created equal. She became the symbol of strength and dignity, standing against the evils of discrimination, privilege, and entitlement. Her faith in Yahweh and the message of churches in the black community reminded us that Yahweh created all people in His image. Her life caused believers to face the gap between confession and practice. Her experience changed culture and society in Alabama. We are all better because of her. Mark Croston, current president of the National African American Fellowship of the SBC, pastor of East End Baptist Church in Suffolk, Virginia, said, quote, Yahweh used Rosa Parks as a catalyst for justice. By sitting in silence, she fulfilled the believer's role of being the salt of the earth. And we are all indebted to her life. We're all indebted to her for her life and for her work. And the last quote I want to share with you is this. From Richard Land, president of the Southern Baptist Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission, who was instrumental in the SBC 1995 Racial Reconciliation Resolution, said, quote, Rosa Parks was a great woman who was committed to uncovering wrong and doing right. She said her act of civil disobedience was simply a result of being tired of the unfair treatment of black Americans. Rosa Parks stated it was her faith in Yahweh that gave her the strength and the courage to persevere in a culture that denied basic human rights to African Americans. Throughout her life, she demonstrated a quiet and dignified strength in standing for justice and equal rights for all Americans. She will be forever remembered as a pioneer in the struggle for civil rights. Her efforts, combined with those of many other Americans, black and white, led to the full citizenship for millions of African Americans and began a needed transformation of our nation. Mrs. Parks' resistance to the unfair treatment of black Americans did not begin in 1955 when she was put off a city bus in 1943 because she boarded that bus through the front door. Not the struggle for freedom, not the back door where blacks were supposed to enter the vehicle. I am grateful for her indomitable spirit in the struggle for freedom and justice and for unflagging dedication in calling our nation to close out the ugly era of racial segregation and to heed the biblical truth expressly stated in our nation's Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal. All Americans owe Mrs. Parks and other civil rights pioneers a great debt for their courage. They're standing against the evils of segregation and making it possible for us to live in a society committed to racial reconciliation and justice. Yes, she was exhausted that day. Yes, she chose not to give up her seat, knowing fully well that she might be arrested. But by her own admission, she would never have had the courage to remain seated had it not been for her unwavering faith in Yahweh. This is more than just a historical footnote, and it is not just a case of tangential nitpicking. She understood that her faith in her Yahweh was greater than the white man who wanted her to move to the back of the bus, greater than the Montgomery police, greater than the mayor, greater than Jim Crow, and greater than the whole structure of institutional racism and oppression. We're running out of time. Next week, we're going to focus in on the lessons learned from Rosa Parks. Let me just briefly tell you what they are, just quickly. We'll get more into the word next week, but sometimes the word comes in packages like seamstresses from Alabama. Okay? They're called living epistles. If this message bores you, poo-poo and foo-foo. There's the written epistles, and then there are the living epistles. And Rav Shmuel said you ought to mark them and mimic their faith. Not mock, mimic. Copy. Acts chapter 11, Hebrews chapter 11 is still being written. Are our eyes and ears open to see that it's still being written? The scriptural basis for Rosa Parks' actions, lessons we're going to talk about next week in part 2. If you're taking notes, we'll go over it in depth next week. Number 1, the power of humility. Number 2, the power of conviction. Number 3, the power of nonviolent resistance. Number 4, the power of the search for equality. Number 5, the power of a sound mind to overcome fear and evil. Number 6, the power of one. Number 7, the power of reformation. Number 8, the power of a kadosh vision. Number 9, the power of resurrection. Number 10, the power of forgiveness. Number 11, the power of faith. Number 12, the power of divine empowerment. Number 13, the power of imparted responsibility. Number 14, the power of truth. Number 15, the power of salt. And number 16, and lastly, the power of visualizing your promised inheritance. Father, we thank you for your word today. We thank you for the life of our sister, Rosa Parks, Father, that you have honored her lying in state in the U.S. Capitol because, Father, our nation was sick with prejudice and intolerance and bigotry. And Father, through her life, that living epistle can be read and known by all men. We thank you for her life. We thank you for her testimony. We thank you for her emunah. And we thank you she was one of those mothers of Hebrews chapter 11 that was willing to suffer affliction in order to see her children raised back to a life of equality and vibrancy. In Yahshua's name. Kol HaKehillah v'Kol Echad Imru. Amen. 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 Shalom. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of Yahweh. Into the Moed Hall, we love you. Shabbat Shalom. Before we go, we want to encourage you to visit our online store at www.yourarmstoisrael.org. We have so many items and so many products, from books and tapes and videos, that it'll bless you, it'll minister to you, it'll teach you, it'll disciple you. So many things we have to offer. Some of the best true name music CDs anywhere in the world that are very hard to get. For instance, here we have a CD, a music CD, using only the true names from a two-house believer. Hear My Cry. And then we have other items, just to give you another example, another music CD from Yosef Green, Yisrael Come Forth, A Cry to Both Houses. So why not do your online shopping and at the same time sow seeds into the ministry, and at the same time be blessed with the best products and the best items that are out there. So again, our suggestion would be to take a few minutes and visit us in our online store at www.yourarmstoisrael.org, and you'll find all kinds of products. Matter of fact, here's the rabbi's copy of the Nazarene Israelite Siddur. You can do all your services at home. If you're out of the boonies, so to speak, and you're all by yourself and you don't have anyone to lead you and guide you, all you have to do is follow the order of service and follow the liturgy for the Nazarene Israelite Siddur. See? Siddur Shenati Lelatrei Yisroel. The liturgy, or the Siddur prayer book, annually for all of Nazarene Yisrael. So we have this available. We have items and articles in Hebrew and Spanish. We have books in Hebrew and Spanish. We even have the Siddur in Hebrew and Spanish. So rather than take up more time, just go to our website or call the ministry office. We'll have one of our ministry service partners get back to you. The telephone number, you'll see it right there on your screen, 305-868-8787. Give us a call at 1-305-868-8787, and we'll make sure that one of our ministry service partners gets back to you, takes your order, and helps you with product information. And if you need prayer, we'll pray with you, we'll sing with you. Whatever you need, we'll take our time and make sure that we get back to you. But one of the gems of our product, of course, many of you are already using the world-renowned and famous Restoration Scriptures True Name Edition, which has been edited and which has been translated by yours truly from the Hebrew, the Aramaic, and yes, also sometimes from the Greek. So we've taken the best of all the world and put together a translation that you and your family can be proud of. It's all backed up, substantiated by documents, by the Dead Sea Scrolls, by the Aramaic Peshitta. The research is painstaking research, but it's well worth it. As you can see, the finished product right here. 7 pounds of Besorah power. And you don't want to be without this Bible. You don't want your wife to be, you don't want her reading texts that are not reliable, written by translators who didn't speak a word of Hebrew. They knew Greek perfectly, but they didn't do too good with that either, but certainly didn't know any Hebrew or Aramaic. So the Restoration Scriptures True Name Edition is a treasure, a gift, a study tool that will literally last you a lifetime. It will literally last you all your years on this earth. You don't want to be, I don't ever want to be caught without this. And as a matter of fact, in the future, in the very near future, we'll even have a little bit of a lighter edition in soft cover as well. So you'll find all that information on our website. Also, for our Spanish-speaking friends, guess what? Very soon, we're going to have the Restoration Scriptures True Name Edition, 3rd edition now, in Espanol, on CD, and then in a light, soft cover that's firm, and they will not fall apart. We have that in Spanish very, very soon, and if you check our online store, you'll know exactly when we'll have that available. Again, we take a lot of time to make these products, to choose them, to select them, to pray over them, because we don't want to sell or distribute error. We don't want to sell or distribute junk just to make money. They've been selected, they've been chosen, so that they are doctrinally kosher, and quite frankly will help you in your most kadosh emunah. So again, pick up that phone, dial us at 305-868-8787, or visit our website at www.yourarmstoisrael.org, and we'll get back to you. We'll make a Hebraic connection and make sure you get the materials and the tools you need. And again, these tools have been selected for you, and they are not available, most of them are not available through any other source. So we look forward to meeting your needs as you grow in your most kadosh emunah in the things of Yisrael. Shalom.
Come and let us praise Yahweh. Come and let us worship before His face.